All right.
Hey there, how's it going?
All right. So if you clicked on this video, that means you want to know, when can you earn the right to go through his phone? When can he trust you? But before we get started, who are we, baby?
Yes, we're Terrence and Jill. We God-Ordained Union. We've been together now, been married now for almost 3 years. And I'm excited about that because we got an anniversary coming up.
Yes, we do.
But I tell y'all, you're in the right place at the right time.
Yes. So if you're looking or you've been waiting for love, the person, you're tired of attracting the wrong person, you've been praying, you've been kicking, screaming, hollering, you've been almost to the point of, I'm not going to say desperation, but just desperate to know why is it taking so long or what is wrong with you. You're definitely on the right channel. We were somewhat in that position for a very long time. I was 52 when I walked down the aisle, but 48 when I came across Terrence's profile on a dating app. And so we know how you feel. So you are on the right channel.
Yes.
We encourage and support, inspire those who want to be married.
Yes.
God ordains marriage. Don't let nobody tell you that it ain't for everybody. If you want it, it's for you.
Regardless of how old you are.
Regardless
of how long you feel you've been waiting.
Regardless if you've been married before or not, because God's grace is sufficient. Yes. So you're definitely on the right channel. Make sure you subscribe, share, comment. Join us on Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go live, and our live is we live. We answer questions, and
I like our lives now. You know, like you said before on the previous video that, you know, we used to have it kind of orchestrated where we did certain things. Now it's more of a Q&A.
Yeah,
it gives us an opportunity to freestyle, to be able to go back and forth with all of you. So you can ask us some things, even if you wanted a particular video. You know, you can put that out there in the comments and we can let you know if we've already done that video, where to find it, or
we'll talk about it again.
Something we're going to add to the list. Yeah.
We'll talk about whatever you want us to talk about again, because we have not. One thing we say, we don't do marital advice, relationship advice, because we're still learning. We're just 3 years in.
And we're in a relationship ourselves, trying to make it work.
Yes, trying to figure it out. But we do like to believe that we have mastered being single and dating. Yes.
And going through being in God's elevation room.
Yes, which most people call it the waiting room. We call it the elevation room. So we like to give our perspective, our opinions, of course, our stories. So that's what we do on this channel.
And we're still learning. Even these videos that we're doing now, the topics that y'all are bringing up now, as we go through and start to think about, okay, well, what did happen? How did this come about? We're still learning. And we're still saying, oh my God, that's what that meant. That's what you was doing then. Oh my. So we're still learning. You know, what those things could have meant then that we wasn't even aware of, which is why we want to share that information with you.
Exactly. So before we talk about can he trust you, just want to remind you, it's Heart Health Month. Don't know when you're going to watch this video, but we wear red for the most part. A lot of February is Heart Health Month, where most people focus this month on the physical aspects of your heart, like getting your vitamin D and getting in walking and all that great stuff. We like to focus on the spiritual aspects of your heart. This is a great month to do a heart check, because believe it or not, what you attract and what you repel has to do what is in your heart. Unforgiveness is a big thing, or I should say bitterness, because unforgiveness is not a word, but bitterness in the heart is a huge block. So you're wondering why you can't get that person. Check your heart posture, because it could be something that you could be holding in your heart. So, all right, baby. Women want to know, like, you know, for a lot, like we've talked about this before, where when you're getting to know somebody, when men getting to know somebody, you're in that dating phase, and you know, for men and for women, I mean, but men can go a distance and not have any emotional attachment or they're going through the motions, or whatever they're getting out of it, they are satisfied with it for the moment, as long as they're getting what they get out of it. But women want to know, when is the point where what they did, said, or are, that will make a man say, wow, I trust her. I trust her, because I know it's not easy for him. Once a man don't trust you no more, the relationship is over. Yeah. But I do know that for a lot of men, it takes a process to add to trusting her more and more and more and more. For a lot of women, which I think is so shallow, let me just say that. But to the point where, when can I get the password to his phone? Which I want to make a point about that at the end. But so yeah, so when do y'all really start to trust women?
Well, first, let me share this.
Listening.
Women. One of the things we do on this channel is we always direct you back to God and God's word. Okay? A God-Ordained union. That's what we call ourselves. So we're going to direct you back. And I want to share this first, so I help set the foundation for what I'm about to say. And that is, you need to make sure that you are being led by the Holy Spirit. Because if you're not, then there's some things that a man will say when you meet him that will tell you he's not looking for a wife. He's not looking to build something. So you might be in a relationship with a dude that has no aspirations in his life at this time to even look for a wife.
And take it any
further. And you're spinning your wheels trying to impress this guy, or show him that you are the one for him, or change him, or whatever that is you're trying to do. And it may be with the wrong person, because you didn't try the Spirit by the Spirit when you first met him.
Okay.
So I want to put that out there first. Make sure that when you meet someone, that you're willing to give that opportunity to see if he's the one and if you're the one for him. That is somebody that's also like-minded, that is Spirit-filled, that is being led by the Holy Spirit, that's also looking for a family or a wife and to build something. So you're not just treading water, or you're on a treadmill going as fast as you can go, but you're not going anywhere.
Right.
So I just want to put that out there first. Okay. With all of that being said, okay, there is a lot of different reasons why a man would start to trust a woman. And I'm going to give you some official words, but then I'm going to give you what I think personally was important to me. And I feel that I got the heartbeat of a lot of men. So I'm praying that what I'm saying was important to me is also important to them. Okay. So, you're going to have those typical things like when a man feels like a woman is being consistent. You hear that a lot in conversation. Oh, she's got to be consistent. We don't really care about if you're being consistent. We care about if things that we need to happen for our lives are happening. For an example, some men want to know that if a woman can cook. Some men want to know if a woman can be a mother to his children. What I want to know is that when we first meet, we don't have any expectations. We did not. Okay. But here's what I did. We was on the phone in the conversation, and I said, I would really like, now, mind you, we have already spoken on the phone several times, but here's a conversation when I actually said officially to her.
Actually, it was by text.
Okay.
But go ahead.
I said, I would like to learn more about you. I just want to take it slow. And she said, slow is perfect. Now, from that point on, I'm saying to myself, whatever we talked about in the past was okay. But now I know officially we're looking to see if this is going to be the relationship that is going to take us, and we're going to move forward, and she's going to become my future bride and all that. So now what I do is I start you at the top. I'm one of those people that I'm God-fearing. I believe that if we're going to have a chance, I want to treat her like she's my wife from day one. And I don't know why, but she and I was talking about that the other day, and I told her I had like an epiphany one day where it was like, why do we even tell people, when we get married, we're going to start loving you. When we get married, we're going to start treating you like a wife. When we get married, when we get married, when we get married. So what I've understood is if I believe from day one that there's a possibility she's going to be my wife, then why not treat her like she's my wife from day one?
So, but you said, let's take it slow. So I wasn't even thinking in terms, I wasn't even thinking in terms of marriage. I was thinking in terms of, okay, let's get to know each other. But that you're saying that was the beginning of you started me here.
Me starting you here, which means I'm giving you trust. I'm giving you access to me. I'm giving everything you need in order for you to know that I'm your man and I'm not going anywhere. It's already at 100.
And for me, because that's how I am personally. I start everybody, even friendships, when I meet people on the job, I'll start you here and I'll let you work your way down.
I'll let you disqualify yourself. I'm not going to disqualify you and say, you're starting at 0. You got to prove yourself to 100.
Right. So we were both on the same page with that. But when you said that to me, when you said, I want to take it slow, and I said slow is perfect. And then you're right. At that point, I didn't have any expectations. And so I think what that did is we went into a realm of freedom. And you said, you didn't say it, but you're saying it now. At that point, I had all access to you.
You have all access to me. I don't care what time of day or night you call. If I see your name on the call ID, I'm taking a call because now you're my woman and I'm putting you in that space.
Okay, that's what his thoughts were. Ladies, let me tell you how I interpreted it. I interpreted it as respect his boundaries. He said slow, and I said slow is perfect. In his mind, this woman got all access to me because she's in agreement with me. In my mind, I'm going to respect his boundaries. So I never been the type of person like, let me check your phone, or that's never been me, period, ever. Even now, like, that's just not me. But at that point, I knew respect your boundaries.
But here's the thing, though. Understand this. Don't get it twisted. We didn't go any faster. So me giving her 100% access and trust and everything she needed didn't mean I was going faster. It just meant she didn't have to worry about any red tape or any,
But I didn't know that.
Yeah, anything she needed. If she told me that day she was behind on something, I'd have went straight and said, here's my card. Go ahead and take care of it.
But I didn't know that because in my mind, respect his boundaries. He said slow, and I said, and I told him, wherever we're going to go, wherever we're going to be, however we're going to be in this thing, we take it slow is because you're leading it.
Right. You said you're going to dictate. Everything we do is going to be based upon where you lead us.
Okay.
So that was one. One of the things I want you to know is I started her at 100. Okay. So my trust, all of those things was there. Now, I say that to say this. We still don't know a lot about each other when it comes to saying, okay, if we get in a firefight or we get in it, or are we going to be together? We're going to fight together. It wasn't about none of that. It was just saying from this point on, she has access. This room is hers when it comes to this space in my life. And we're going to build on it. And it's going to go as far as it can go without any type of hesitations from me when it comes to saying, she ain't done nothing to prove herself yet. No, she proved herself by saying she's willing to be in a relationship with me that's going to lead
and take it slow
to something. And we're going to take it slow. Okay. Now, with that being said, like I said, once we got to talking about what we do for a living, that's when I learned, she was doing finance for college. Now, I say that to say it's not even about whether or not she did it for an entire university, or all I know is the entity that she was working for was larger than my house. You know what I mean? So if she can manage a budget,
millions of dollars
for them, I know good and well she can manage whatever I got in the bank. That makes sense. So with that being said, that told me right there, she already qualified. Whether I thought she was a great person or not, she's already doing something on a whole nother level than where I was personally.
Yeah.
So if it came down to finances, I knew I could have her to double check my finances to make sure that if I was not where I needed to be or where I should be in order to reach some goals that I have not yet reached, she can actually be that person that says, yeah, I can look at this and tell you where you are. I can look at this and say what you might need to do. I could trust her in that area. So she wasn't having to qualify for something that she was already doing in her life.
Yeah, because so at that point, like, you could really trust me. Like, we had just started getting into crypto, and I said, because my sister is very shrewd with finances as well, and I said, my sister said, she just texted and said, go buy such and such crypto.
See, at that time, I hadn't even been into
crypto,
or none of that stuff.
Right.
So when you told me that, I got online, I checked it out, and I was like, she said this type, boom, I purchased it.
Right. Trust.
Just off of the trust of saying, this is my woman. Her sister just said, this is a great investment, because she told me her sister was in making investments. It's like, hey.
But you knew that because you said you saw me of how I managed my profession.
Right.
So, yeah, so that was a part of the trust being built
there's
as well.
no reason to doubt you when it came to finances.
Right.
You know, and all of this, if y'all understand, all of this makes sense when you think about your relationship with God and how you might trust God in one area of your life, but you didn't trust him in another area. Am I making sense? So you say, oh, I trust God for getting my bill paid, but I don't trust God for love. Or I don't trust God for X, Y, Z, whatever that is. So even in a relationship, we're going through the same thing. Now I can look at her resume and say, out of all these categories, I can go ahead and check off 4 or 5 of them because she's already doing it. Her lifestyle, what she's been doing, how much money she's been making from other companies doing these things. I don't need to question whether or not she's good at this.
Or I could trust her with my credit card.
She's already doing this without me. She was doing this before we met. So I gave her credit for those things, not saying that I needed to, but to say for my own peace of mind, to say, if I had to give her my credit card today to go do something, I didn't have to sit there and say, when she come back, be waiting at the door like, where my credit card, where my credit card, where my credit card, what you do, how much, let me see the receipts. I didn't have to do none of that. That was never an issue. It was like, no, you can trust her in those areas. So trust in those areas was already a part of the equation, the package, perfect word, package of her coming into my life because she has already been doing those things in her life. And she had words in front of her like expert in different businesses and things that she had already done. So why in the world would I sit there and not trust her in those areas when online she's known as the expert in this or this or this? It's like, no, go and give her, I trust her in those areas because she's got people that are making money, getting paid, increasing their annual incomes off of her advice. Yeah, I trust her in those areas.
Yeah.
You know, another thing that, another area for me was really, I think that played a big part in me trusting her was the fact that we had so much in common. When we started talking about how we grew up, we started talking about our family dynamics. We both from ridiculously large families. You know, when we talked about where we grew up, we both were born in New York. Families both came down south, and here we are, a product of both of those families, and we're together now. So, the fact that we both are God-fearing, the fact that we both love hard.
Government housing.
We know what it feels like to be in line waiting for cheese.
Yeah. So those things you can
have conversations and say, yeah, you know what? I know she's a hard worker because where she come from. The fact that she's made all these other things, knowing that where she started, it's like, no. Yeah, I don't have to worry about her work ethic. I don't have to worry about how dedicated she is. I don't have to worry about her having intestinal fortitude and she's going to, be obedient and stay the course for months at a time. I don't have to worry about her understanding we might have to put some energy in today that we're not even going to see the benefits of for the next 6-7 months. She's already proved that, So those things gave her a lot of credibility when it comes to me being able to trust her. You know, now it's not when it comes to stuff like, you know, my cell phone, you know, my passwords and things like that. This is me personally. One, I don't go out to mess around behind my woman's back. I don't go out to sneak. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm too old to be trying to duck behind something and not be seen. Okay. So when I walk out there, I'm going to walk standing straight up. So my point is, if my phone rang right now, I don't have to go to the other room to answer my phone. If I'm on the phone and she comes into the room, I don't have to answer my phone like I don't want her knowing, or I don't have to hang up trying to hide who I'm speaking to. You know, so if something came up, like she'll tell me sometimes, your phone ringing. Okay, well, you can answer. I know she's not, but she can answer the phone because I'm in another room. I didn't hear my phone ringing. So if I'm trying to beat the phone from stop ringing, either she needs to answer it or I got to get up and run. Again, I'm 57. I ain't running too many places. So with that being said, I don't have a problem. If something comes up and she says, what's your password for that? I just give it to her. Why? Because I already know I'm not doing anything.
And it took me a while, ladies, to even ask for stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's like, it comes naturally with the things. As a matter of fact, that's a perfect, segue into this. There was a point in our life when she went over the stages. There's a certain stage when she and I started looking at different things to do together. We started looking at companies. We started looking at investments. And so as those opportunities presented themselves, we had to give our social security number. We had to give our birthday. We had to give certain passcodes or make up certain passwords so we both will have access to certain things. So we started going into things with that trust already there because we started from ground zero together. It wasn't like she was saying, I need your bank account information. Even if she did, I would have just gave it to her. But the fact that she was on a site and we were both putting our information in to start this brand new account, whether it was with an investing company or it was a company that we were planning to get involved with, we were doing this together. She was putting her social, I was putting my social. She was putting her birthday, I was putting my birthday. We was talking about how much money we was going to spend. There was even investments that we did where we said off the gate, even if this don't make any money, the information we're going to learn by being a part of this company will still make our investment work. So we was okay with stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's where the trust was just naturally, it was organic because again, we didn't put a bunch of, expectations on, you got to trust me by this date or you got to trust me. None of that became a part of it.
I think one of the, like the money part was, I think a lot of people measure that. Oh, he could trust me with he gave me his credit card. That wasn't, that wasn't really a determining factor for me. What was a determining factor? Like, wow, he trusts me. It was two things. One, he gave me the key to his house. And I was like, okay. And at that point, I don't even think I had been coming to Charlotte that much, but I know I had given you a key because when he would come up on Fridays to stay for the weekend, sometimes he would come up early. You would come up straight from work. So you would come up early and I would still be at work. And so I remember saying, well, here, I'm going to make you a key. And we were still in our quote unquote dating phases. But I remember when you gave me a key to your house and I was like, whoa. But the other thing that said, wow, he really trusts me is when you said, here, I want you to take my office phone number. Like I had the cell phone number, which was adequate, which was, good. But you was like, if you ever needed to get in touch with me at work and you can't get me on my cell phone, you said, here's my phone on my desk. Like this is like, and I was like, wow. So it wasn't so much the credit card, because you had even at that point, you had trust me with your car. Remember when my car broke down and we traded cars?
I was just thinking that.
Yeah. So it wasn't even so much of like the money part. It was like, wow, you trust me with a key to your house, and you trust me with.
And I remember you questioning me that too. You was like, "Are you sure to drive your car? I won't be able to get it back until." I was like, "Don't worry about that. You take my car. I'm gonna take yours. And tomorrow morning I go get yours taken care of, and we'll just swap back whenever next time I see you. Yeah. I'm good." You know.
But I remember once in our very first conversations when we were first in our talking stages, and ladies, this is something you want to definitely take note of, because I think this is a determining factor for men, for a lot of men. I made it a point to say, whatever you and I discuss, it is confidential and is between you and I. You don't ever have to worry about our conversations, me going back and telling my girlfriends or my sisters or anybody outside of us. I wanted to establish that trust that you could, tell me stuff and not worry about me telling, the world our business or your business. So, yeah.
And, I'm glad you said that, because there's another part of trust that came later. And I didn't realize this until I was in the middle of it. And that was, there was a time when you and I went to Chicago. I went to a men's event, and I'm listening to these guys speak about their situations. And while I'm listening to them, I'm thinking to myself, because they was even saying these things are so deeply rooted in us that we haven't told our wives. And that's made me start to think, is there anything I haven't told you? Is there anything that I have suppressed or kept so far deep that I haven't told you? And that's when I started to realize, okay, there are one or two things that I need to share with you. And I was able to share those after that event. When we came back home and everything, I said, hey, I need to talk to you. I want to share some stuff. But, and even those things were the first time I ever shared them with anybody.
Wow.
So you have that information. You know what I mean? Nobody else on the planet other than God has got that information.
Right.
But at the same token, just by being a part of other men and learning that we even subconsciously not tell everything to certain people, or until we get a certain level of trust. And but like I said, at that point, I realized, oh my God, there are some things that she needs to know that could be, because
their other wives don't know.
Right.
But
even my ex-wife don't know what I shared with her.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I say that to say, we were talking, you and I were talking, because I was learning then about the different types of things that people can be, dealing with spiritually. We were talking about generational curses back then. We was talking about so many different things. And when that came, I was like, oh my God, that could be causing me to respond or to act a certain way. So I need to make sure I share this with you, so you would be aware that that might have a trigger attached to it. Or,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So I'm like, where's that coming from? Right.
So I never even thought about that until I was listening to other guys share in a group of men, and I was thinking, oh my God, I might have some of those things. And so, I know I needed, so that right there was probably the first time outside of anything that I had been experienced with in the past, was something that was new for me. For me saying, oh, I have these same things that those other guys said. That's when I started realizing, when women say that men don't communicate a lot, one, that's true. It's a true statement. And men will own that. We will own and say, yeah, we know we don't talk a lot. But ladies, understand that there are some things that's on a whole nother level of us not communicating with, that may be a part of our past, our subconscious, or something that we may have never been in a relationship with someone ever in the past that has helped us bring those up to the surface. And if you're going to be in a relationship with a man, you might need to understand that you're going to be close enough to him at some point to where he's going to feel comfortable enough to trust you with that information.
And if he does not feel comfortable enough have patience. Don't try to pull anything out of them. Because there's a lot of things that like men can't even come to terms or grips with even talking about it to themselves. So because
we've been told since a little boy, men don't cry. We've been told since a little boy, you don't share your feelings. Those are emotional. No, you're a man. No, put that away. Don't let them see you hurt. Don't let them see you this. And so we have to get to a point to where we're in a protective environment, a safe space where we can talk about some things and know beyond a shadow of a doubt that it ain't going nowhere else.
And that may take years to build that level of trust.
Yeah, so I say that, exactly. I say that to say it might be years into the marriage before those types of conversations even come up. And how you handle that the first time will dictate whether he ever share anything else with you for the rest of your life.
That can be a situation of total shutdown and you dealing with a closed marriage. All right. So any other trust factors you want to bring up before we wrap it up?
Well, I think, and it's not as serious as what we just shared, but I think what was important for me also was the fact that you showed me in different areas of my life how much you cared about me personally. Not only from, and we shared this before, not only from you praying for me, but you actually hit me up every morning to make sure I got to work safe. You make sure you ask me every day, what do you want to eat? Have you eaten? What do you want? You ask me every day, have you taken your vitamin or you getting the fiber you need? Or, you're specifically saying, I want to make sure you're healthy. Are you eating enough this? Are you eating enough that? And see, those things people don't give credit to because they think, man, she's always nagging. No. What I've learned is when you get above 50, there's some things that you need that most guys might not think about, but women will think about a lot when it comes to, are you getting the proper fruits and you getting the vegetables? And men ain't thinking, we're thinking we want some steak, we want some chicken. But you always hit me up about those things that you care about. Are you eating right? You even ask me when I go to, what did you eat for breakfast? What did you eat for lunch? And it's like, and here's the thing. I'm like any other guy. There have been times I'm like, man, I wish you quit asking me that. But then I also said, I remember those days when I was lonely in God's elevation room saying, Lord, please give me somebody. So guess what? I'd rather have a woman that's asking me those questions than be by myself wishing that God introduced me to a woman. So I'm just saying, I appreciate these things now, and I may not have in, earlier situations.
Okay, cool.
So that helped me trust you as well. Just the fact that you've shown that you care about me on a day-to-day basis in areas that I never paid attention to.
Right. Wow. All right, ladies, there you have it. So for some, I think the biggest takeaway is that for some men, that they may start you here and let you prove yourself slowly but surely. In our case, Terrence started me here. He started me. We came into the relationship on 100.
Right.
And so either way it works. Either way it works. Either way it takes it. Yeah, either way you got to be trustworthy at the end of the day.
But I will say this, ladies, if you are in a relationship or if you start in a relationship and the guy starts you at zero and saying you want to prove yourself, don't look at him as if he's a monster. And I'm saying that because he's probably been hurt a couple times and now it's got him safeguarding his heart.
Yes.
And he's really being cautious of who he gives his trust to moving forward. So with that comes, again, being patient, open communication, help. And the more you can help him, and I say this for all men, the more you can help him feel safe in communicating with you about everything. The one thing I love about this woman here, she likes to talk through it's like every day we're itemizing everything. So it gets to a point where now we're comfortable talking about everything. But even in the beginning, it's like, really? That's a long conversation just about where we're going to eat lunch. Or, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't need to have that many options. But again, she's making sure I'm getting the right types of food, all this other stuff. So, ladies, as you start to conversate with your man, the more you can get him to feel safe with you in these conversations, the more he'll start to reveal to you and the more he'll start to trust you in return.
Yes. And the other takeaway I want to say, ladies, is make sure that you respect his boundaries. Don't force him to give me the password to your phone, or why give me the, why are you not giving me your card? You don't trust me with your car, with your bank card, or you don't trust me to drive your car. Just respect boundaries. Just respect boundaries.
Because at the end of the day, you may have been hurt also in the previous relationship.
And you thinking that that's going to determine trustworthiness, and it really doesn't. It says insecurity. That's what it really
what
screams.
It does is pushes him away before you can even get a chance to find out if either you are the person for the other. So you can't go into a relationship with baggage. You got to start every relationship on a clean slate at 100 and let it work itself to be whatever God has intended for it. And as long as your steps are being ordered by God, try the Spirit by the Spirit, and it'll work out for you. Even if that person isn't the person you marry, you should have learned something that prepares you for the next person even more.
Yes. All right.
So I hope that answers y'all's question.
Yes. Can he trust you? Yes. All right. I think we done wrapped that up. If y'all have any questions, concerns, comments, y'all know what to do. Drop them below. Again, we be trying to answer those comments, but they come so fast. But yeah, drop them below, and we will definitely read them.
Yes, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Yes. All right.
Deuces.
Deuces.